She traded a heart of gold for a mansion of glass. She thought she was marrying a billionaire. She thought she was leaving behind a nobody. But what she didn't know was, the real billionaire was the man she left behind in Maple Creek. Welcome to Uplifting Moral Stories. Stories that heal, inspire, and empower. Let's begin. In the whisper-quiet town of Maple Creek, where time moved slow and winters felt like forever, Sophie found the kind of love people write country songs about. She worked long shifts at the diner, serving coffee with dreams folded up in her apron pocket. And Liam? He was the mechanic with oil on his boots and poetry in his soul, though he'd never admit that last part. Every night, after closing, he'd wait for her outside in his beat-up pickup. Heater broken, hands cold, but never her heart. They were young, broke, but rich in something this world often forgets: unshakable loyalty. Until ambition came knocking, and everything changed. Setting: Town Hall charity fundraiser. Locals wear their best boots polished, hair combed. A black Maserati rolls into the lot. Narrator tone shifts to intrigue. The night Chase Donovan arrived, Maple Creek felt different. He was a stranger wrapped in money. Designer Volcoat, Rolex, Colgate commercial grin. "I'm looking to build a remote innovation retreat," he told the mayor, shaking hands like a politician and winking like a movie star. But the way Sophie looked at him, that was no handshake. Liam watched her laugh at jokes that weren't funny, smile in ways she never did for him, and just like that, something between them cracked. The wind howled outside like it knew what was coming. Sophie stood in Liam's doorway, coat on, eyes colder than the air. "Chase is taking me to New York, says I have potential, says I could model or manage one of his brands." "And what do I say?" Liam asked, voice breaking. "Say goodbye, Liam," she said, almost robotic. "You'll always be the guy who never left Maple Creek." She didn't just leave a town. She left a man who would have given her everything, while chasing a man who gave her nothing real: New York City. The skyline gleamed like a promise Sophie had once only whispered to herself in the dark. She was living the life she had always dreamed of: private jets, fashion shows, diamonds scattered like stars, and parties where everyone was someone. With Chase, every day was a photo shoot. Every night, a champagne blur. But beneath the glitter, there was something Sophie couldn't put her finger on. The love? It felt rehearsed, like a scene played out on repeat. And no matter how many photos were snapped, no matter how many perfect nights they had, it wasn't enough. She could feel the emptiness creeping in. But she ignored it, swallowed it whole. It wasn't long before the cracks started to show. Chase's billionaire empire? It was nothing but smoke and mirrors. First came the bounced credit cards, then the calls that went unanswered. Sophie tried to ignore it. She told herself it was just a rough patch every relationship had them, right? But the late bills piled up. The leases got canceled. The penthouse that had once felt like a dream, now a gilded cage. Chase was gone, always at work, always meeting someone important. Sophie was left in a world of luxury that she couldn't afford. The final blow came in the form of an alert on Sophie's phone. Chase Donovan wasn't a billionaire. He was a con artist, this entire life a lie. The real Chase Donovan? He was sitting in a federal prison for identity theft. The man Sophie had traded everything for didn't exist. And Liamtha, one she had discarded without a second, thought was no longer just a mechanic in Maple Creek. He was now in Silicon Valley, building something real, something that would change the world. And she had left him for this. The silence was louder now. No more clinking glasses. No more fake smiles. No more Chase. Just Sophie. And the crushing weight of regret. She stared at the city skylinians, her dream, now a reminder of everything she'd lost chasing glitter instead of gold. She remembered Liam's eyes. Not the way they looked, but the way they made her feel. Safe. Seen. Loved. And she realized she hadn't just left a good man. She had left herself behind. Thousands of miles away, another world was rising. Liam, yes. The mechanic with grease under his nails had turned his tinkering into technology. He launched a startup built on kindness, community, and real-world solutions. Humble Tech was disrupting the industry quietly, powerfully. Reporters called him the compassionate CEO. Investors lined up to shake his hand. But Liam? He hadn't forgotten Maple Creek, or the girl who once held his heart. Sophie came home with nothing but a suitcase and a heart full of apologies. But Maple Creek had changed. The diner had a new waitress. The garage? Empty. Liam was gone. And Sophie? She stood at the crossroads of her life, wondering if second chances were real, or if she'd forever be the girl who chose the wrong love. Mons best. Sophie stayed in Maple Creek working at the library, volunteering at the school, trying to rebuild. Not for attention, not for Liam, but for herself. And then, an envelope arrived. A charity gala invitation. The sender? Liam Hopper. It wasn't just any event. It was the launch of Humble Tech's foundation for rural education named after Maple Creek. And inside, a handwritten note. If you're ever in the city, you're welcome. Was this forgiveness or closure? And then a gala night, glamorous but meaningful. No flashy riches, just warm lighting. Sophie's hands trembled. Community leaders and heartfelt speeches. Sophie walks in quietly, unsure, until she sees him. Liam confident, grounded, surrounded by people who admire him, but his eyes find hers instantly. There he was, the same Liam, just brighter. He walked toward her, no resentment in his face, only grace. Sophie, he said, ich hoppas you'd come. And just when she opened her mouth to apologize, another woman walked up, smart, kind-eyed, holding Liam's hand. His fiancée. Sophie froze. Her heart sank, but not from jealousy, from the realization she had truly lost him. And yet, she smiled. As guests mingle, a well-dressed older man approaches Sophie. He'd been watching her. You must be Sophie, he said. I saw you in Maple Creek once, at the diner, with Liam. She blinked, confused. I'm Martin Lane, angel investor. I backed Humble Tech. Liam always spoke of you, the way you once believed in him before the world did. He smiled. People make mistakes. What matters is who they become after. Then, he handed her a card. You've got heart, and I hear you've been helping kids back home. If you ever want to do more, call me. The twist? Martin Lane wasn't just any investor. He was the real billionaire in the room. And this time, Sophie didn't fall for wealth. Wealth found her because of who she had become. Sophie walking out of the gala into the night, stars above, holding the card in her hand, her face lit with purpose, and not for love, but for her own future. Sometimes we chase the glitter and lose the gold. We trade real love for empty lights. But life is merciful to those who grow. Sophie didn't get the love back. She got something more, a second chance at purpose. And Liam? He didn't need revenge. He built a life so full that even the past couldn't dim it. Remember this, the right person will never need to prove their worth. And your worst mistake doesn't have to be your final chapter. Share this story if